Thunderstone the sound that play number one for you. The stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone. Saying the cornerstone sound, the champion sound, the female shall sound that race.
I didn't get past the 10th grade. I got kicked out of school. I had to start working immediately. So I've worked from the time I'm 17 up until now. Worked nonstop, dead-end job after dead-end job after dead-end job after dead-end job, up until the point that I found my union gig. I landed the job with this local union where I did well for myself. I excelled. And 18 years, 19 years later, I made a conscious decision to stop that. Now, I'm basically leaving myself a free agent so that whichever way the wind blows or whichever way God nudges me to go to do, I'm free to do so. A free agent for God, a free agent for the Most High. Oh, why don't you DJ no more? Because I don't want to DJ no more. Because I don't want to be jammed up in a club playing music for people shaking their ass while I'm being called on to go do God's work. The hermit life, the monk life, call it what you want. Quarantine life, whatever. I just journal. When I say that I'm making myself a free agent for God, I just sit here and I study esoteric, occult knowledge, the Bible some more, whatever it is, man. Reiki, yoga, chakras. Just study. It's never too late. Like they say, it's never too late to go back to school. It's never too late. So, to whom much is given, much is required. So I know that a lot is asked. But I didn't think that it would be down to the point where it would split family like that. Man, the enemy has crept in and has, like, I don't want to say put the spirit of ignorance in my kids, but it's given them this arrogance where there's been some things that have happened. Some disagreements, some situations where they maybe don't look at me the same way, right? Let's just leave it at that. Bro, all I can say is that the conviction and the confidence they speak with when they check me and they address me and they come at me, I hope that they one day have that same conviction and confidence towards God and themselves and spirituality. My kid came at me, he's like, oh, this victim mentality that you got and this and that, when I'm explaining to him some of the things of my past and my childhood that would lead up to me having this point in life where one would call it an awakening, one would call it an ascension, one would call it, like enlightenment. Call it what you want. But to him, he's like, well, why didn't you face this before? Why is this happening now? Why now? Why God? Why now? Because I wasn't ready when I was busy raising them. I've been asking questions my whole life that I wasn't getting the answers to. And now, in the past couple of years, I've gotten the answers to them. And now, It causes the truth. The truth is an offense, but not a sin. The truth comes up and it stirs everybody, it stirs everything, and it bothers everybody and everything. So now they're in conflict with it. They're in conflict with what my path is. They're in conflict with the isolation. They're in conflict with a lot of things. My conflict with that is them feed that entitlement where they can just address me as if I was just some random on the street. And that's a sacrifice. That's another sacrifice, because I know that entitlement, that arrogance, that little tough guy, like that little tough guy boastfulness, if anyone embodied that, bro, like if they got that from somebody, it's me. Right? I know all about that. But I also know, and I have faith, and I have conviction that when it's all said and done, they'll be all right. We'll all be all right. Because you know why? 'Cause we're Carreras. Right now, they're operating in the other last name spirit. They're acting like some real bitch ass kids right now. That's the part they must have inherited from the in-laws, because this side, bona fide. But it's all right, because I love them. And just like I might have been disobedient, I might have been stubborn, I might have been unruly my whole life, and God had to deal with me. He did. And I'm gonna deal with them. I'm gonna put up with it, because I have no choice. I love them. And I also knew when I answered the calling that this could just be one of those things that would happen. And here we are. One of the first videos I have on YouTube speaks about how this channeling, this work we do, this work of service, I'm not gonna put a specific title on it. People want to hear you say, oh, I'm a tarot reader, I'm a magician, I'm a light worker, I'm a healer, I'm a starseed, I'm a this, I'm that. I'm not bound by any oath. My character, my heart supersedes any title that you could give yourself, that anyone can appoint you, that anyone could appoint me. Who I am, my essence, my heart, the love I carry supersedes any of that. Do I read tarot? A whole bunch of them back there, stacked up way high. Do I believe in magic? I believe in divination. Do I believe in astrology, astronomy? Do I believe in sacred geometry? Do I believe in the importance of your chakras being aligned? So on and so forth. Yup. Check. Do I practice magic? Nope. But I'm not gonna label myself any of those things, because I'm not gonna limit myself to any just one title or one of those modalities, as they call them. But I will tell you, I'm here for service. Hit me up, link in the bio, all that good stuff. I am here to be of service, to serve God, to serve humanity, to serve creation, to serve the pets, the animals, creation, all of that. So yeah, kids, relationship with the kids right now is kind of a bit of sacrifices. It's they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get why things have happened along my path and my journey, that have led me here. We'll get into specifics on another video. Anyways, in the YouTube, one of the first videos speaks about how this isn't about us. you know, these tarot readers on YouTube and wherever, whatever the hell. They do their thing, but in the process, there's this whole self-promotion and this and that, and they kind of, you can see it's very transparent. They veer off from what the actual mission is, what the point of the video is. Why is this video all about me and what I do and my answering of the calling? Because I've been told that my testimony will serve just as well, if not better, than any tarot reading. It'll help ones and ones connect the dots as to what they may face or what they may have to go through in the spirit of, you know, serving in God's army and spiritual warfare and, you know, being a chosen one or having that calling on your name. That's the point of this video, is not to like boast about, oh, what I've did or what I've sacrificed or what I've given up. Truthfully, I ain't really giving up much. I ain't giving up shit. I ain't giving up much but some Jordans, some Supreme, some pot. What else? Hoarding a bunch of shit. Now I just hoard crystals and tarot cards. Journals, tarot cards, a bunch of tarot cards, sound bowls, crystals. Yup. Oh, we about that life. Just like when we walked the Rastafari culture. We didn't just dress up in khaki and just rock dreads just to do it. Like we were about that life. We research, we dig deep, we take it back. Solomon and Sheba, Menelik, lineage of King David and King Jesse, the Christ lineage down to Ethiopia, all the way down to Haile Selassie. We studied it. 1892 he was born, Rastafari. We do the research. We dig deep. We dig up the meat and potatoes. You know what I mean? It's not just a surface thing. We don't just do it. We don't just look the part. So in this day and age, on the contrary, I don't rock the little beaded necklaces and this and that, and I don't look. I'm not dressed in linen with the little shawls and this and that. Like, I'm not here to look apart. A witch doesn't. I heard earlier. A witch doesn't jump the hedge or go over the thing with the broom to prove she's a witch. The shaman doesn't, you know, prove that he has herb to prove he's a shaman. A healer doesn't tell you he's a healer. They don't do these things. It comes up when it comes up, when needed, when channeled, when it has to. So this whole video about what I've, you know, it's not about what I've done. It's just an example of what may be required of you or someone you know or someone you love. So even though you're not called or chosen for a certain godly task or spiritual task, and you've watched this to this point, you might have a family member that is, and hopefully this helps you understand how to deal with that person, how to manage and kind of, and you got to understand, man, that you don't got to do anything. It's helpful if you understand that when you encounter a chosen person by God, someone that's elect, and again, chosen, man, like we're not self-proclaimed chosen, man. The Rastas say it, the Bible says it, many are called, but few will be chosen. There's many that are called, but very few are chosen. I'd say 144,000 to be exact, if you want to put a number on it, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, 144,000. Yeah, the book of Revelation says that. 144,000 shall sit at the throne of God. One plus 4 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 666. Yeah, that part, 666. Everything they've taught you to fear is exactly the thing you need the most, or the thing you'd benefit from the most. 6 is 6, 12, plus another 6. 1 plus 8, 9. It all boils down to the 9, man. Sacred geometry. The 3, the 6, and the 9. Everything you use to measure time, to measure space, to measure weight, all adds back to 9. 60 seconds in a minute, right? 60 minutes in an hour. 24 hours in a day. 60 divided by 24, I think it is. Do the math. Your circle, 360 degrees. 3 plus 6. Spiritual warfare, man. You know, when you answer the calling, be fully aware of what that means, what you may have to sacrifice, what you may have to give up. It may sound cliche, it may sound a little excessive, it may sound a little exaggerated, but it could even cost you your life. I said it in a bunch of other videos. The devil's not here to stick out his foot and make you trip and scrape your knee, or cut your knee open so you got to go over to the emergency room. And he doesn't want you to just bump your fucking head. He wants your fucking soul. He wants your fucking everything. Skin, flesh, bones. He wants it all. Because as I've said in other videos as well, AI, artificial intelligence, does not have a soul. They need your soul. AI does a good job at scripting little bios and little captions, and yeah, they could script quite the little fucking commercial or whatever for you, but it has no soul. It's got no soul. So just be aware. Excuse me. Be aware of what could be asked of you, what could be required, what could be demanded. But I guarantee you that the payback, I feel like I don't deserve payback. I feel like I could sacrifice it all now and I still wouldn't be paying back God for all of his mercy, all of his blessings, all of his love that he's shown me up until this point, up until these 43 years of my life. I would not have gotten here on my own. I did not get here on my own. Even with my ancestral help, angels and ancestors, I would not have gotten here with their help alone. Because my ancestors were at one point human too. It's through God's favor, through God's choosing, through God's love and his mercy that I've gotten here. And that's why I will fight it till he says we're done. And I will continue to fight. I just journaled today how it's a fucking rough one. It's been rough, man. It's been really rough in terms of the attacks and in terms of the karmics that come into my life to try to get me to stumble and to get me to learn lessons and to get me to fall. It's been rough. It's been really rough. But I'd be a fucking fool if I were to back down now. After all the work that God has put in to get me here, after all the fighting, bloodshed and carnage that my ancestors and the angels have gone through to protect me, bro, I have not lost a hair due to any spiritual attack. Look, I'm looking right in the camera. All the spell work, all the spiritual attacks, all the black magic, all the voodoo, all the hoodoo, all the Santeria, all the bitchcraft, all the sacrifices, all the mal de ojo, all of that, I'm still here intact. my bones, I'm still intact. Has not worked, will not work. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. If anything happens to me at this point, it's because of my doubt, because of my fear, because of my disobedience. It's not because of anyone's spell work. It's not because of anyone's voodoo. It's not because of anyone's witchcraft or Santeria. I urge you guys to save your money, man. Just stop already. Just stop already. There's little hiccups here and there that take place because of it. It's like the army when they're driving through fucking Afghanistan. Sometimes the Humvees really do work. Sometimes that bulletproof glass does work. Bam, you hit the tank. It just kind of rattles the tank a little bit. The tank keeps going on, that tank keeps blasting off. Yo, guess what? Just like Jake Paul, last night rolling into the fight with that tank's gonna keep rolling. I'ma keep rolling. Because if God's putting on for me, I'm gonna continue putting on. It hasn't worked. I'm right here. This is not a hologram. This is not AI. This is Adrian Carreras speaking to you in the flesh, live and direct. Even after my own self-sabotage, even after my own abuse, like, I am my own worst enemy, and I've survived my own self-destruction. That should tell you how strong God is. My free will to self-destruct did not supersede God's plan. When I had my awakening, that'll be the next one I do, I'm gonna lead you up to my awakening. Just how bad it was. Just how dark it got. The apartment I had, I was literally living in hell. And I was convinced I was going to hell. I was convinced. What happened is I turned around and there was God right there. It didn't matter how nasty, how dark, how ugly, how scary it got. It really wasn't scary, but it was right there. He created us all. What makes me think that he's gonna be scared to go into like, he was right there. He held my hand and ushered me right out of there. And here I am today, about 2 or 3 years later, proclaiming his mercy and his loving ways and his his grace. So spiritual warfare, be aware of what it may cost you, be aware of what you may have to sacrifice, but also be aware of the payout, the payback. Be aware of what there is to gain when that victory, when the trumpets sound and that victory is declared. Well, the victory's already been declared, but when the trumpets sound and it's known that good has defeated evil once again, be a bright, 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 shining day, just like today is, just like every day is. Don't get me wrong. I speak of love and light and goodness, and this might shock some people, but in the grand scheme of everything, bro, in the grand scheme of balance, which is the way there, you need evil, man. You need evil. Almost just as much as you need good. You wouldn't know what mercy and grace is without dealing with despair and lack and the bad shit. So be aware, man. Just be aware, be aware, be aware. If you happen to see this long and you're thinking, damn, well, I'm not chosen. I don't feel like I've been called to do anything. I don't feel like, maybe you're not. It doesn't mean that you're any less loved or any less cared for. It just means that you weren't needed for the position. You weren't needed for the job. You know, we all have a different calling. Everyone's got a different purpose in life. Doesn't mean you don't have a purpose. You all have a purpose. We all have a purpose. So just be mindful if you see somebody doing something you don't understand and they're telling you it's part of God's plan or it's God's work. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Time will tell. Let them prove themselves. Regardless whether you accept it or not, regardless whether you believe it or not, regardless whether you care about it or not, time will tell. Every knee has to bow. Every tongue has to confess. And it'll all be worth it. My kids will understand. My family will understand. Those who don't understand right now will understand. They'll be like, oh shit, that's what that was about. Yep. Hopefully it'll make sense to you guys one day. But if it doesn't, oh well. I hope this video makes sense right now. Yours truly signing out. Adrian, Chosen Stone, Cornerstone Collective. Wishing you all more guidance. Wishing you all more protection. Wishing you all more abundance. Wishing you all more blessings. And ultimately all the love that your heart can receive. All the love that your heart can receive and transmute right back out. Transcend, just radiate. All the love that your heart can radiate right back out. All these things I pray in the name of love. Ashe, amen. Boom, bam.